We have seen the West African region experiencing military coups and military officers seizing power in Gabon, threatening an African dynasty. The coup was announced hours after President Ali Bongo, whose family has controlled the country for a half century, was declared to have been re-elected for third term in the disputed election. And the military officers said that they had seized power in the oil-rich Central African nation of Gabon early on Wednesday, overturning the results of the disputed election that returned the incumbent President Ali Bongo Ondimba to third term in office. In Gabon would be the latest in an extraordinary run to military takeovers across a swath of Africa. At the least 9 in the past 3 years, including one last month in Niger, where President Mohamed Bazoum was similarly overthrown by the head of his presidential guard. Mr. Bongo, detained inside his residency, issued a video plea for help. But celebrations erupted in the streets outside as many Gabonese cheered the apparent demise of the family dynasty that has dominated for a half century. By evening, the officers announced General Brice Oligui Nguema, head of the elite Republican Guard that is charged with protecting Mr. Bongo as Gabon's new leader. Gabonese media identified him as a cousin of the ousted leader. A close ally of France, Mr. Bongo won international acclaim in recent years from scientists and conservationists for his stewardship of Gabonese sweeping forests, which cover nearly 90% of the country. A member of OPEC, Gabon is currently 7th largest oil producer, but Mr. Bongo, 64 years now, also presided over a regime accused of cronyism and corruption in a country where only a minority has shared in its great wealth. Public anger has been simmering for years. I don't know what's happening. Mr. Bongo, seated in an ornate armchair, said in a video that was released hours into the coup and authenticated by an advisor, "I am calling on you to make noise, to make noise, to make noise, really." A louder noise, though, came from his viewers. Footage posted to social media showed jubilant soldiers hoisting General Ilugui into their shoulders and punching the air. The coup leader then drove through the streets of Libreville, cheered by civilian supporters, shouting, "Thank you, General Olingui," said at one stop before driving off. As well as holding Mr. Bongo, the military said it had detained several of his advisors, including a son, Noldin Bongo Valentin, on charges of corruption and misgovernance. The coup was a new blow to French interests in Africa following recent takeovers in Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. Under Mr. Bongo and his family, Gabon, a French colony until 1960, has for decades remained a staunch ally of France, even as Paris' grip on other former colonies waned. Industry. French companies dominate Gabon's oil industry, and at least 400 French troops are based in Gabon, many at base in Libreville. The coup met with instant and near universal international condemnation. But unlike Niger, where neighboring countries threatened military action to undo last month's coup, there was no suggestion of force. A French government spokesperson demanded that the election results be respected. John F. Kirby, a spokesperson for the U.S. National Security Council, said the attempted takeover was deeply concerning. China, which accounts for about half of Gabon's exports, expressed concern. So was Russia, which in recent years has benefited from the several African coups by deploying Wagner mercenaries to prop up shaky military regimes. Wagner, which has been shaken by the death of its former Leader Prigozhin, following the mutiny he led, has no ties to Gabon, although it has a presence at the major port in neighboring Cameroon. Many of the recent takeovers in Africa occurred in countries hit hard by